Hi friends, it's me, Miss Chacon. We are back, and today we're going to be learning about this really cool thing called timelines. Now, timelines are what help us know about the past, the present, and sometimes the future. Not all the time, but we'll explain it. But a timeline is something that goes on a cool line and it talks about all these cool events that have happened in the past, the present, and the future. All right, so before we start, thank you so much for doing your homework. I'm so proud of you. Remember to be turning in your homework every single day to get dojo points. All right, my friends? Also, today is Thursday, so we did Relate Addition. Right now we're doing all about timelines. Tomorrow we're doing a review in math, so it'll be a little shorter. And finally, we will be doing a blending lesson. And we will also have a little talk about not a holiday that's tomorrow, but tomorrow is a special day and it's called Armenian Genocide Day. So I'll be talking about what it is and why it's important. Okay, friends? So we're looking forward to that. Tomorrow's a big day. I hope you all had a great week, and let's get started. So, if you're wondering, Miss Chacon, what's a timeline? Well, a timeline is something like this. You see this line right here? This line is telling time. Now you may say, there's no numbers on this. Well, timelines can have actual times. It can say 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It can say all those things. Timeline can have actual time. Timelines can have years, so it can say in 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. It can say that. Timelines can say days. So what this is a week timeline. So this is telling us on Monday, there's gym class. On Tuesday, there's a field trip. On Wednesday, there's a computer lab. On Thursday, there's a spelling test. And on Friday, it's firefighter Dana at school. Now what this is a timeline. Now you may say, Mr. Cohn, this just looks like a plan for the week. That is still a timeline. If it's on a line and it's telling us what's happening each day. So it has a picture, it has the day, it has what's happening, and it's all on a line. And it can tell us about the past, the present, and about the future. So today is Thursday, right? So let's pretend we're in this class. We're in this class right here that's this girl is in right here. Today is the present, so on Thursday, we're having a spelling test. Now remember, we're not actually having a spelling test. That's fake. But let's pretend we're having a spelling test today. So today's Thursday. Thursday is the present. If I wanted to find out what we did in the past, I would go back on my timeline and I'd say, Wednesday in the past, we had computer lab. Tuesday in the past, I had the field trip. And on Monday in the past, we had gym class. So our timelines can tell us about the past. It can tell us about the present because today is Thursday, the present. And it can tell us about the future. Now that it tells us about the future because on Friday, on this timeline, it says firefighter Dana at school. So timelines are really cool because it kind of looks like a map and it shows us all about the past, the present, and the future. Okay, so what we're going to do before we do this, we're going to watch a cool video on the timeline of baseball. So if you're a baseball fan, you are going to like this video. Also, if I didn't talk about my hat yet, I'm wearing this hat. It's my little raccoon hat because in the past, this is something that people wore. And I want to stick to our theme about the past, the present, and the future. And the past is important. It's really important because that's what we learn from. So I got my cool time traveler hat because it's all the way from the past. So it's not a cat on my head, it's a hat. The cat and hat. So let's watch our video about how to make a timeline. The innings and outings of
A
baseball.
timeline is a great way to illustrate a set of historical events.
So, events. Events are something that happens. So let's keep watching.
The events on a timeline usually follow a theme or take place within a specific period of time. To make a timeline, first create a list of events you want to include and order them chronologically. That's a fancy way of saying earliest to latest.
Yeah. So what they're doing, see how all of these cool pictures? Look, it has 1839. Abner Doubleday invents baseball. So this guy invented baseball in 1839. There's a timeline. In 1845, which is a year, these are years, so this timeline is going by years, Alexander Cartwright creates rules for baseball. Baseball's pretty old, so we're learning about the past of baseball. In 1846, the first official game of baseball is played. Then we move on. In 1876, William Hubert forms the first baseball league, and that's how we got the Dodgers. And then in 1903, the first World Series. If you don't know what the World Series is, that's kind of like where all the baseball teams come together and the two best teams compete and they play a really good baseball game and the winner wins a trophy. Then in 1912, the baseball players go on strike. Strike means that people hold up signs and they say, we're not working because we're not happy with how much we're getting paid. We're not happy with this or that. So that's why people go on strike. Then in 1936, the Baseball Hall of Fame opens in Cooperstown. So Hall of Fame is this cool place where people, they keep their picture and they tell them, you're famous, you did really cool things in baseball, so we're putting your picture up. Then in 1947, the World Series played on television for the first time. So even though this is all a timeline about the past, it's still a timeline because it has pictures. So you need pictures. You need either years or times or days for your timeline. And you need a little explanation. So see how all of these have a title? That's what a timeline is.
Then, look at your earliest and latest event dates to determine the period your timeline will cover.
So I'm going to go back here real quick. Give me 1 second. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, so you see how the earliest one right here is over here, and they put them in order. So we don't put 1947, 1903, 1876, 1846. Your timeline has to be the past, the present, then the future. It has to go in a smooth line order because time goes in a smooth line order. So that's I just wanted to show you this cool video about it. So if you want to watch the rest of this video, oops, sorry about that. If you want to watch the rest of this video, what you can do is you can go right here to Class Dojo. And what you can do is you can scroll down to our 420 plans right here. It'll take you to this link right here, and you can click on how to make a timeline. Okay, friends? All right, so let's get started on our book now. So using timelines. So here are some pictures to think about. This is a time, 12 o'clock and 12:08. And we're thinking about time, how in the timeline we would do 12 o'clock first and 12:08 second because we always do earlier time first, later time second. And here's a calendar and here's time. So we're all thinking about time, okay, my friends? Today is all about time. So let's get started. Okay, words to think about. Event. So here's event. Say event. Event. This event happened long ago. Now, an event is something that happened. So an example of an event is, remember when we all went to see the Velveteen Rabbit and we went on a field trip? That field trip is an event because it happened. So an event is anything that happened that you have to put on your timeline. So that's what an event is. Event. Future. Will we have this spaceship in the future? So future, we talked about it. Future is something that's going to happen. Now, we never know what's going to happen in the future. Nobody knows that. But we can talk about the future. So I can say, in the future, you will be in second grade. And you will. It's not the present, because in the present, you're in first grade. But in the future, you'll be in second grade. Historic. Historic is a big word. So it says this log cabin is a historic building. So historic, when we talk about historic, we're talking about the past. We're talking about history. So history is another word for the past. Historic means that, it's a place that happened in the past. So it's something that happened in the past. Illustrate. Drawings help you illustrate or show your thoughts. Illustrate means to draw or to paint or to show a picture. So all of these right here, these are illustrations. On every timeline, you need pretty pictures to show your event. Past, we all know about the past, things that happened. And timeline. A timeline shows when things happen. So here's our introduction. A timeline shows events or special things that happen. A timeline also shows when these things happen. In this book, you will learn how to make and use timelines. Now, what I want you to look at this. In our timeline in our video, we saw that it was a timeline by years. So it was 1826, 1849, 1850. It was by years. But look at this timeline. This timeline is by time of day. Now this timeline is a day timeline. So a timeline doesn't just have to be about years. You don't have to say, in 2006, I was born. Then in 2007, I said my first word. You don't have to do that. Timelines don't have to be years. Timelines don't have to be days either. Timelines don't have to be times. Timelines can have many different measure of time. So in this one, a timeline is like a time of day. And I'll show you our other timeline right here. In this timeline, it was by days. So it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And in this, and then give me 1 second. And then and then in this timeline, it's by times. So like the times in a day. So let's look at it. At 8 a.m., school begins. And look, there's a picture. So we have our time, we have our title, and we have our picture. So that's something that you need in all your timelines. You need the unit of time. So if you're doing by time of day, or year. So you have to have this. You have to have your title, and you have to have a picture or an illustration. Then at 10 a.m., they had recess. Here's a picture of kids at recess. At 11 a.m., computer time. At 12 p.m., lunch. At 1 p.m., they had story time. And at 3 p.m., school ends. What timeline do you think this tells you? What kind of timeline is this? What are they telling you? This is the timeline of their school day. So this is telling you about what is happening from the beginning of the school day to the end of the school day. So this is a really cool timeline. Now we're just going to read chapter 1, and it says, a timeline of a week at school. Now look at this. Monday is gym class. Tuesday is field trip. Wednesday is computer lab. Thursday is spelling test. And Friday, firefighter Dana is at school. So it starts with Monday, ends with Friday. It has a title for each one, so it has gym class, field trip, computer lab, spelling test, fighter Dana. And for every single dot, so you see dot, 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 there is a picture. So here are our pictures. Okay. So Bella and Jay make a timeline of a week at school. So here's Bella and here's Jay. First, they write each day of the week. So they wrote Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Next, they write an event that happens on each day. So here's our events. They have gym class, that's an event. They have a field trip, that's an event. Computer lab, spelling test, and fighter Dana. Events are something that happens. So first they wrote the day, then they wrote the event. Then Bella and Jay used their list to make the timeline. Last, they draw pictures to illustrate their timeline. The pictures help show what the words mean. So, these pictures show what they're doing. Now, pictures help us because it helps us know, I don't know what computer lab looks like. Can you show me a picture? And then they wrote their picture. So what I would like you to do, sorry about that, my friends. 1 second. So what I would like you to do is for today, I would like you to make a timeline of your day. So if you look at here, if you look over here, here is a timeline of your day. 8 a.m. school begins. 10 a.m. recess. 11 a.m. computer time. 12 p.m. lunch. 1 p.m. story time. 3 p.m. school ends. So what you can do is you can write 8 a.m. wake up. 10 a.m. watch Miss Chacon's videos. So each person's day is different. And now that we're learning at our own homes, I don't know how your day is going, and I want to know how your day is going. So what I want you to do is I want you to make a timeline of your day today. So what you're going to do is you're going to write from the time you wake up all the way to the time you go to sleep. And you can do it by hours. So you can go like here. They did it by 2 hours. And that's what they did. So what you're going to do first, so just like they talked about here, first you're going to write, so they wrote the days of the week. What you're going to do first is you're going to write your times. So you're going to draw a nice pretty line and you're going to write your times. So here's your times right here. Then you're going to write your events. So their events are school begins, recess, computer time, lunch, story time, school ends. You may say, Miss Chacon, I don't have any events today. Well, you woke up, that's an event. You are watching this video, that's an event. You ate breakfast, that's an event. Maybe you ate lunch, that's an event too. So tell me what you did at what times. Finally, so your third step is to draw pictures for each event. So I know what that looks like. So you're just going to do a small timeline on a piece of paper. You're going to write a line. So first thing you're going to do, say, I write times. Say times. Good. Then you're going to write the events. Say events. And finally, you're going to write pictures. You're going to draw your pictures. And these can be small pictures. They don't have to be big. They just have to be small enough to fit underneath the events. And if you look at this one, this is a good example of a timeline. See, it has little pictures, and it doesn't have to be a big one. It doesn't have to be 3 pages. It just has to fit on a small little page. Don't worry about it. And so that's it for today. You have to make a timeline of your day today. I hope it looks awesome. I know it's going to look great with your beautiful pictures and telling you what you did today. All right, I'm so happy that I'm going to learn what you're doing today and when you're watching the videos and what time you ate lunch and all of these things because timelines are so important. They tell us about the past, the present, and the future. So, that is it for today. Remember to watch our videos for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, and it's the end of the week, so we're gonna have our weekend. Woohoo! And that's about it. All right, that's it, my friends. Stay safe, stay well. If you have any questions about the homework or how to make the timeline, just ask me on Class Dojo. All right, bye, friends.